Hi everyone, this is Mrs. V Chan. Welcome to my Form 4 Accounting lesson number 19. Today is 18th of May 2020. Okay, so we do one past exam question for correction of errors, which is in 2004. Okay, so here is the question. So this is the items given to us in the question, and then what we need to do is to draw up the trial balance of Mina Company as at 31st March 2004. Alright, so to do that, let us start with a nice heading, which is the name of the company, and this is trial balance as at 31st March. And then for trial balance, we always have this debit column and credit column, and don't omit this dollar sign and dollar sign, otherwise marks will be deducted. Okay, and here in the question, the first item is capital. Alright, so capital should be always a kind of credit item. So here we put 600,000 on credit side. Okay, and next we have bank overdraft, which is current liability, so that I put this on credit side as well, 16,168. Alright, okay, next we have debtors. So this is debtors, and debtors is current asset, so it should be a debit item. Okay, and then I put the figure on debit side here, so 342,500. Okay, next sales is a kind of revenue, and sales will increase capital, so say sales should be a credit item, and then I put that on credit side. Okay, so next we have purchases. Since purchases being opposite to sales, which is a debit item, therefore, so I put this 1,616,750. Okay, so actually this is a very exam-oriented way to draw up trial balance in that way. So purchases, and next one, I have office equipment. And this is non-current assets, should be a kind of debit item, so 1.7 million. Okay, next creditors is a kind of current liability, and also it is a credit item, so I put this 281,200 on the credit side. Next, after that, returns outwards. So return outwards being deducted from purchases. If purchases is a debit item, so that I have my returns outwards being on the credit side, which is 9,000, right? Okay, next, discount allowed. So if we want debtors to pay us earlier, we receive less money from debtors, so that therefore this is a kind of expense. Expense should be on the debit side, so discount allowed 20,564 should be a debit item. So next one, return inwards. Okay, to be deducted from sales. Sales is a credit item, so that I put this return inwards on the debit side, so 21,985. Okay, and then after returns inwards, we have provision for depreciation, which is same as accumulated depreciation, and then inventory, and then operating expenses, and then commission revenue. Alright, I just do classification for whether they are debit item or credit item in this way. So provision for depreciation is a credit item, same as accumulated depreciation, and inventory on the debit side. Operating expenses is a debit item, and then revenue is a kind of credit item. Okay, you just do that in this way. So you can see it is very important that you need to distinguish clearly, so what items being a debit item and what items being a credit item. Okay, so after we have distinguished what items should be debits and what items should be credits, and then we need to use calculator to work out the total on debit side and credit side. And here the debit side is 4,412,546. Unfortunately, the total on credit side is not the same. That means their must be mistake and errors in the books, right? So the analysis will be like this. So here is analysis. Now we have credit side, which is bigger, right? So credit side bigger than debit side. That means there is a credit balance. All right, so before we find out the mistake, and then it is not comfortable to have different figures in the trial balance. So therefore, we have to insert suspense accounts on the smaller side, which is the debit side, to equalize the debit side and credit side before we find out the mistake. Okay, since we have a credit balance in the trial balance, that means credit side is bigger. Now I insert the difference, 3,542. I use the name suspense account to insert on the smaller side. Therefore, right after that, I can change the total for this 4,412,000 to the same amount on the credit side, in order to make it feel better or look better before we find out the mistake and do correction of the mistake. All right, so we use the suspense account to equalize the debit side and credit side. All right, so therefore here, if you go to your textbook on page 298, you have the meaning of suspense account. And what is a suspense account? Suspense account is a temporary account, not permanent, because later on, after we have find the mistake and do the correction, all suspense accounts will be cleared. All right, so this temporary account used to record the difference between the debit and credit totals of the trial balance. If we do not have the same total on debit side and credit side in the trial balance, and then we use suspense account to insert on the smaller size in order to equalize the total on debit side and credit side. Okay, now let me give you another example. Now here is another trial balance, but this time we have 1,000 total on the debit side. However, we only have 900 total on the credit side. So therefore, this time we have debit side, which is bigger than credit side. So we say that there is a debit balance in the trial balance. All right, so and this time we add suspense accounts on the smaller side, which is the credit side, with the difference. So add suspense account on credit side, which is the smaller side. Okay, so now I add suspense on the smaller side, which is the credit side, and then I can equalize the debit side and credit side, which is the same now in the trial balance before we find out the mistake to do correction of error. All right, next, after we have insert suspense account on the smaller side in order to equalize the total on debit side and credit side in the trial balance, and then we need to go find out the mistakes and do correction. As we realize that there are 3 errors here, we need to do correction of the mistake. So here, number 1. So we have this, for example, sales account was overstated by 300. So sales account, sales is a credit item. If this is too large, so how do we correct the mistake? We need to decrease sales. We go to the opposite side. So we debit sales by 300, and then we credit suspense also by 300. Okay, and number 2, the error is this: purchase account was understated by 800, and this purchase is a debit item and too small, therefore we have to increase purchase. So the same side, we debit purchase by 800 and then credit suspense also by 800. And number 3, we realize that we have this mistake in the books, so which is rent account was overstated, was too large, therefore, and this rent is a debit item, and now this is too large. I need to reduce rent by going to the credit side, the opposite side. So I credit rent to reduce rents by 1,200 and fill in the blanks by using suspense account like that. Okay, so right after this correction of mistake by using double entry to correct the mistake, now let's look at the impacts on the suspense account. So here we start with suspense account on credit side. So therefore I have this suspense account on credit side 100, and then the description is difference in the trial balance. Now for step number 1, I credit suspense by 300, so that here 300 I credit suspense because of sales. I just do posting, and this is related to number 1. Okay, and for number 2 here, I credit suspense account by 800, so that this is credit side 800, and because of purchase, and this is related to number 2. Okay, and for number 3, I debit suspense account 1,200, so here is my debit side 1,200. The reason is because of rents, and this is related to number 3. Okay, so what happened after I have finished all the posting in my suspense account? Let's look at how much do we have on credit side. And then here on credit side, I have 100 plus 300 plus 800, so which is 1,200. And also on the debit side, also 1,200. So you can see we don't have any balance carry down left in the suspense account. And after we have finished all the correction of the mistake and correction of errors, we have nothing left in the suspense account, and then we can clear the suspense account. So therefore, suspense account, that's why suspense account is only a temporary account for recording the difference in the trial balance before we find out the mistake and do correction of error. Okay, so that's all about today's lesson. Thank you for watching my video. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.